Remember when I said this was the last one? Then the Switch 2 trailer came out and wow, this feels very autistic. Whoever the sound designer is, definitely autism. I'm not exaggerating when I say this is one of my favorite trailers ever. Next to Splatoon and Xenoblade X it goes. I would definitely say that this is weaponized autism. Or not, probably not, aiming to make the most satisfying sound for us autistic folks. Then again, it is all because of the Switch one and the clicking sound it has. Perfect 10 out of 10. But the thing is that the sound has been there since the DS era. That's mostly because Nintendo consoles have certain sounds, while the Genesis/Master System just have a normal way to remove the cartridge. The NES and Super NES have an eject button, making the sound of ejecting cartridges more interesting. The later Nintendo consoles got rid of that, except when the DS happened. When the DS happened, there was a clicking sound to pop the cartridge out, as well as a certain sound to open the console. These sounds can be associated with the DS and 3DS, so Nintendo used those sounds as a marketing point for the Switch, hence why Switch 2's trailers use that sound design, and why it sounds so dang autistic. This video is that one part in SpongeBob where he rubs two pickles together to listen to the noise. Either way, autistic video game 6. Let's go! The blob? The blob? Look at this blob, it's so 2000s. While the blob 2 is somehow more political, the blob 1 is political in a way that you're beating up this corporation who steals all the color for profit. Oh no. Oh, but also the more color you bring to the city, the more musical notes you get to hear. Satisfying. Plus the fact that this was made before Splatoon's existence makes the sound design even more revolutionary. Maybe Nintendo devs were fan of the blob. Plenty of other aspects are discussed in this video, and I mostly mentioned the blob because the comment wanted me to. But presentation wise, it is pretty autistic, with some more simpler cutscenes, either drawn like a comic book or more like a 2000s cartoon. The autistic character designs are really interesting too. Look at these blobs, also distinguished yet so simple. Also their gender protag, so very 2000s. I find it fascinating that these look like the modern Tumblr cartoons as well as 2000s cartoons. But overall about this game, I like it. I bought it for $5. Unlike that boy and his blob. Here comes that boy, hey what's up? Watch him rolling down the street. Watch him rolling to the beat. What do you mean? This meme is 10 years old. Time flies so fast when you're not on Tumblr. 2D games on Wii look great actually. They set out to do what Metal Slug wanted to do, and succeeded at it. I love animation, and if a boy and his blob on Wii isn't great animation, I don't know what is. These designs are so simple, yet the results really are on par with actual 2009 cartoons. So yes, it feels autistic as heck. There is a beauty in how subtle the visual storytelling is, but the story itself could be described as very simple, almost akin to a children's storybook, or that one cat movie I love so much. A Boy and His Blob feels timeless. How could such a timeless masterpiece be made? It's so beautiful, and oh, there was a DS game first. That explains everything. Either way, Wario Land Shake It also has these qualities, especially since it is animated by Production IG. Yes, that Production IG. While I love this 2D game, I definitely would have appreciated at least one more animated cutscene. But animation is hard, so might as well appreciate what we have. Wario Land Shake It has so many frames of animation that compared to WarioWare's simpler flash animation, it is very impressive. Muramasa is closer to ye old Japanese illustrations, but ramped up beyond any of these and being crazier overall. While there's Kirby's Epic Yarn and Rayman.
You can't be mean to my Waddle Dees. Only I can be mean to my Waddle Dees. Hey, that tickles. Okay, that hurts. Yeah, Uncle. Dreamland will be mine. Not sure what I'll do with it, but I'll figure something out.
And that's kinda it for 2D games. However, Pim has released a video on Silent Hill 4. No, not that Pim. That Pim. And let's just say that flipped absolutely everything upside down. As I explained in another one of these videos, I enjoy going outside. Although my energy is limited, then going out heals me. Oh wow, my eyes are closing during an improv show. Let's go home. Yes, all better. Silent Hill 4 though ends up having the apartment becoming one of the most dangerous places you can be in, so you need more healing items and to clean the apartment. I get the cleaning thing. Whenever I have time, I will try cleaning of the house while listening to absolutely anything. It's just that my special interests usually end up becoming more important, so unfortunately it's not the biggest priority. As for the house becoming a dangerous place, I am your house, but more evil.
Shut up!
I'm sure the game is inspired by the isolation people in the apartment can experience rather than autism, especially in Japan, where work culture has isolated people. I would not be surprised if that was an inspiration. So Team Silent 2004 is less autistic than Love the Lake 1997 or even Skip 2010. So I found my old Wii that can't play physical titles, and I did not find Games Arts. Yes, that Game Arts, the Magic Obelisk, but I did find Kenji Eno's Cube game. Maybe the sound design is autistic. Maybe loading 2 cube people into your Wiimote to shoot them on cubes is autistic. It wouldn't make sense. Too bad I want to talk about the stupid game about stooping penguins instead. Snowpack Park has basically all of the cool sound design of the Love the League games, since this is a budget WiiWare title by them. However, the Pinguini game is special. This title has you trying to find 100 penguins scattered in the wild so that they come back to the park. You need to take care of them or else they'll leave. So I put them around the statue and simply come back to hang out from time to time. Surprisingly, this is not the most autistic aspect of Snowpack Park. There is this Simon Says minigame where you need to remember the order of the penchiladas. However, they all sing a part of a melody to the point where it becomes satisfying just to complete it. So my autism is like, give me more. It's probably the Simon Says minigame that I have completed the most times. Space Channel 5 is basically Simon Says, but you know what I mean. Aside from the sounds that the pinball lollies make whenever you pet them, it is the highlight of the game, which let's just say is pretty surprising. But as for the switch to direct, it happened, then it came, and wow, I looked at the prices and oof. At the very least, it has some very stimulating sound. Although the wheelchair mouse mode ball game thingy has some really great sound design. Plus, the whole thing feels like a futuristic sports game from the 2000s. Which, I mean, do I need to explain how autistic that is? Maybe not as much as the Y2K aesthetic. Gosh darn, what even is Crossniq Plus? Just look at this trailer. This is so overstimulating, but also nostalgic in a way. I love subway maps, which are also in Splatoon 2 Octo expansion. So gosh darn, this menu is absolutely beautiful. The gameplay is also as simple or as complicated as you want it to be, thanks to the numerous difficulty settings. There's even a museum where you just casually do combos while the background syncs up with your sound. It doesn't really serve any purpose, but it's still pretty cool. I would even almost call it a cozy title. It's one of those pointless details I love. The main game mode has all of these colorful tiles coupled with a very mechanical background. The future might be full of gears, but it looks brighter than ever. Plus you get to meet V, who's basically the shopkeeper, and oh my god, she's such a great character. And she even gives your pronouns. What a nice crock. I wish this game had a sequel, however it has been 6 years, so I don't think there even will ever be a sequel. Speaking of the 2000s, cell shading feels kinda autistic. While limited, the Dreamcast made cartoony characters even more alive than ever, while the PS1 went ahead with making 3D models look more like anime/comic books. Fear Effect, my beloved. Expressiveness eventually evolved, with the Wind Waker probably being the most fascinating this art style has ever been. But with the rise of more adult cartoons, we got some unhinged cartoony games.
Okay, some kind of squirrel or Meg, stop interrupting my program.
Peter! Oh my god! Brian, call an ambulance! I will get my car.
One was Cell Damage, basically a vehicular combat game with a non-linear progression, animated cutscenes, and just fun cell shading. The fact that it is 30 frames per second might be a bit frustrating to some, but it allows me to admire these characters in a fascinating way. I would also call this another case of cartoons brought to life, which tickles my autism in ways very few realistic games do. But nothing prepared me for the amount of autism this next title has.
Game Boy Advance.
From Osamu Tezuka's inspirations being Disney and Gainax getting drunk enough to make panty and stocking, it's no secret Japanese media has always been inspired by the West. So here comes Atlas making a new studio, Poponchi, to create a Tony Hawk like for the GameCube, only with the help of Spumco, the Ren and Stimpy studio, and a bunch of indie artists to make the music. I should have brought this game when my little brother told me to. However, the aspect that differentiates Go Hypergrind from other titles In the same genre is the slapstick. This core system wants you to get your character hurt in the most stupidest way possible. It's a stupid idea that fits the tone of the game very well, and the fact that you're being filmed adds even more of a silly atmosphere, almost comparable to Jackass in a way. The premise is that there's less colorful cartoons, which was a premise that worked at the time. Anime was everywhere in North America in the 2000s, to the point where even Western media was influenced by it for a while. Even Western animation was sometimes replaced by Japanese anime. That is, before Adventure Time became a worldwide phenomenon. So cartoons were taking a backseat for a while. 2D animation became also very rare, especially due to the 3D movies' popularity. So Atlus acknowledging that is a very Atlus move. Too bad the game did not sell well at all. It even made fun of executives, so I don't know how to feel about that. I want someone to try this slapstick premise again, because having grown up with older cartoons, fusing the fun of slapstick-fueled animation and the exploration of Tony Hawk games appeals to my autism. Maybe a re-release or flat out a remake with customizable levels would be very appreciated. The only games that integrate the slapstick humor in their gameplay are the Rabbids game, hence why I find them really funny. So Go Hypergrind deserves a bigger, more autistic spot in gaming, even more than the Rabbids. I replayed the second game and honestly it's pretty funny. There is no need for scenes and scenes of dialogue when you can just use visual humor sometimes, which is what a lot of old cartoons used to do, and Flow does. I love Flow so much, you have no idea. The last 2 decades of animation have been trash compared to... No, let's not generalize. Anomalisa was really good. I can't believe this is where the autistic video game saga ends. I think I've talked about the subject long enough. I might do other things related to autism, but, autistic video games is now over. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe anyways. Bye!